Alright, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we are back for some more Pyre Community RITE NITE, which means, of course, some good old-fashioned multiplayer Pyre, featuring first and foremost none other than the members of the RITE Club Discord server, the place for all things multiplayer Pyre. And if you are interested in getting more involved in multiplayer Pyre, then that is the place to be, and you can join that group by clicking on that link right there. For those of you in chat, you are not off the hook. No, because you see the red circle with the white L below chat. You click on that, you'll find all the various requests that you can make today, including things ranging from selecting players' exiles, masteries, songs, arenas, even Titan stars are all fair game. So, without further ado, let's hop into versus mode here and get ourselves set up with our default settings, but let us know who would like to get us started today, and if there's anything we'd like to see for our first match. In the meantime, I will hop into said Discord group. All right, I am now ready to go, and let me make sure I have Steam friends up. Okay. Looks good. Anor can start? Okay. Let me, in that case, send... Where did Steam Friends go? I just had it. There you are. Let me send the invite. The cow kit. Oh. Guys, was it last week when we had this discussion, or was it the week before? You know what I'm going to say. You know what I'm going to say. I appreciate that you have both expressed interest in playing in this first match. For those of you who are unaware, both of these players prefer to play on keyboard mouse. Unfortunately, multiplayer Pyre does not allow us to have two people playing on keyboard mouse. We need at least one person, if not two people, playing on controller. So yes, Anor has volunteered to go on controller, but as I believe I had discussed somewhat in jest, only partially in jest, last week, that perhaps we need to make a little more of a point of making sure that people are prepared to play on controller, because usually it's not that much of an issue. As long as we have roughly a 50-50 balance, we can try to make a point of having one person be on controller, one person be keyboard mouse at any given point in time, and then there's no issues. But if everyone is on keyboard mouse, then we face a significant bottleneck in which we quite literally need either someone to volunteer to play on controller, which in most cases, if keyboard mouse is their preferred setup, then they'd rather not do that, or we wait for someone else to come in who can use a controller. Or in this case, both people go for their suboptimal setup, and it is a mutual handicap. Seems as though that is the way we will start today. But all that is to say, hey guys, if you wanna learn how to play a controller, that would be, sometimes at least, immensely helpful. All right, so let's send the invites. Okay. Invites sent. For Nor, I assume we're talking Nightwings, and for Cacao, I assume we're talking Accusers. Is that right? Yep, for Nor. Also double check who's technically player 1, who's technically player 2. Okay, that works for both of you. According to remote play, Nor is player 1 and Cacao is player 2, but if one of you don't mind just, yeah, moving around the cursor or using your bumpers to see which sigil it changes. Yeah, Nor says player 1. Okay. Now I will put in your information then. Also, don't think I mentioned this earlier, but full disclosure, I am still, unfortunately, not feeling 100% right now. Low-key, well, I have a stuffy nose, sore throat. Low-key might have a sinus infection, I'm starting to suspect. So, I probably need for this stream to go a little shorter than our typical RITE NITE, so as to not, you know, set myself back further and just cause further damage and make it so that, you know, we're just going to perpetually be in this state where we cannot have a full-length stream, because that's no good. So one of those things where I think it probably makes the most sense to bite the bullet a little bit, you know, short term, make a few compromises in order to hopefully long term be back to 100%. He says this after having taken decongestants, hot shower, drinking warm tea, and gone on a run, all in an attempt to try to clear up the sinuses. Feeling moderately, emphasis on the moderately better part, but not, unfortunately, not really getting at the core of the issue. These are mostly just band-aid fixes, and ultimately it's just rest that's gonna actually fix stuff. So, that's an aside, but just heads up that we may, for that reason, we'll almost certainly have a shorter stream than usual, may make a point of trying to cycle through players a little more quickly than usual so we can still get, you know, as many people in as possible, rather than just have, you know, almost the entire stream to go to a couple of people and then everyone else is stuck on the sidelines like, well, hey, hold on, Lance, what happened to us? But alas, for this one, Anor, Cacao, not seeing any requests from chat at the moment, so perhaps we just let them jump in here. Let's, however, at least take a moment here to look at your controls, because I imagine that as both of you are primarily keyboard mouse players, that having a quick second to double check the controller controls might be kind of useful. Just in case. Going blind, that... oh, okay. Making me a little nervous there. Without that context, I legitimately for a second... Oh yeah, that's... We know about that. For a second there, thought you were, you know, losing your sense of vision, which was a little concerning for a minute there. Wasn't sure why opening up the controls was causing that to be the case, but alas, I believe she was referring to how she may not have known what the controls were going to be, not the fact that she may or may not have been losing her sense of sight. Okay. I know it's fine. Don't worry. Alright, so no requests from chat here. So I think what we'll do is we'll just hop into this one and have them take whatever they want to take and get things started.
Greetings, exiles.
Oh, hold up. Never mind. Maybe not.
To the nest of Triesta. You now have this chance to prove yourselves. Cling to whatever shred of hope you have. Dissidents, stand ready.
Oh, I see what happened. Hold on. Yeah, I also forgot to I typed in your names and then did not proceed to actually show them. So hold on. Let me, at the very least, do that, and then throw on that, and throw on this. And do we want to still be at the Nessa Triesta? Do we want to lock that in? I mean, I suppose we could technically still do... Oh, well, but then you're still going to be the wrong triumvirs. So yeah, do we want to... Okay, dirty deal. No info on the stream. I definitely typed it all in. Hold on. All right, ready? This will require a quick moment. One moment, please. Stream title. Name of game that we are playing. Automated tags. Manual tags that I put in. Stream language. All is there. So I'm not sure why the stream is showing up as blank, but has all the stuff it's supposed to have. So I don't know if that's... Maybe it's just a Twitch being a wonky thing. Okay. I see. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so there we go. Now we have the info in. Yeah, so do we want to lock in Nesta Triesta, seeing as how we saw that for a split second there, or do we want to just have this be a random one? Oh, and Dirty Deal. Right. Let's lock in Nest, I suppose. What's up, Failer? How are you?
You are
Hello,
gathered
chums.
from the nest of Triesta. Here, one of you
Hey, Rotor, how are you?
to glory. Prevail and step closer to freedom. Prepare yourselves, Night Wings. Accusers, stand prepared. Now let us begin.
Alright, so no requests from chat for this one, so you're welcome to take whatever you'd like here. Now, as we were saying before, both players here are currently playing on controller, although both of them prefer to play on mouse keyboard, so they are both handicapped a little bit in that sense, and it'll be interesting to see to what extent that may influence the characters, masteries, and talismans they opt to select here. Do they still go with what they would normally take when they're going on mouse keyboard, or does the fact that they're taking controller change that at all? It's a little harder to be as precise with your clicks, so maybe that will affect them a little bit. Maybe they go with a slightly safer approach. Something that does not require quite as much precision. But it's Stowaway first for Anor, and Barker first for Cacao. Is Core here yet? I have not seen him in chat. So if he is, then he's lurking. Alright, Web Lanthorn Tizo in the second spot for Anor. He's lost. We'll see. Oh, okay. Brace yourselves. Interesting setup there. On Vids for Cacao. Web Lanthorn on a demon. Not the meta masteries either. Anor breaking out a defensive Gilman there. Now that is not something we tend to see her use all that often. We've heard her say on several prior occasions how she is not usually that big of a fan of the worms. Tends to, of course, use saps as her more defensive character. But maybe that is an adjustment because of the controller. Or maybe it's just coincidence. Alright, and that is a Titan Tooth Tizo in the last spot for Cacao. And here we go for our first ride of the night. Well, Stowaway into the lava she goes. Is Cacao on the orb here, Imp versus Imp. But a whole lot of people going into the lava. And Anor happens to have the orb fall next to her Imp, and so says, why not? I suppose I'll just plunge with them for 15. But everyone seemingly going into the lava, and I mean, again, perhaps it is that both players here are a little more used to playing on keyboard and mouse, where they have more precise control over exactly when and where they're moving their characters. And so on a map such as this, where one wrong step could mean you end up in the lava, that might be why we've seen several characters end up in the lava. Gilman for Anor. Biding her time with him. Trying to go after Vids here. Started making a move, and yes, proceeds with it. Does Cacao. Somehow has avoided all the defenders, though, and does eventually find a way through here for a 30 damage plunge. Stowaway goes to the throw, but it's intercepted this time. And Barker nearly hops his way in, but he is blocked. Stowaway again for Anor. Kakao keeping some defenders in place here. Just waiting for the stowaway to make a move and shuts her down. Barker down as well. Oh, and an orb teleports the orb, keeping the pressure on. But now Kakao with a little time to breathe here. Starts making a move. Titan Tooth stuns an orb. But Kakao ends up in the lava. And what might have been a brief opportunity for an attack has been lost, and now suddenly it's a Nor with a chance for an uncontested 15 damage plunge. Does mean now that Gilman is gone for this round, though. Stowaway's throw is intercepted. Oh, double banishment from the Stowaway, though. And then teleports to the orb. But she gets banished and throw intercepted. Now Kakao with Barker. Oh, somehow avoids banishment there. Nifty maneuver. And finds his way in for 20. Stowaway. Throw. Teleports to it, ninja style. Throw is intercepted, though. Here's Vispleth on the counterattack. But she's blocked. Has it back. Trying to find a way around Gilman here. And does. And finds it all the way in. For 30 here on the plunge, and that drops Nor down to 20. Which means one more score, likely all that Kakao needs here. Another big banishment from Manor, though, getting rid of the last of Kakao's exiles. Oh, but that throw looks short for Manor. And Kakao has recovered it. Barker. Banished. So Kakao still has it here with Cizo. Voids Gilman. Goes down, but sets up a very dangerous portal there. Anor perhaps looking to use her portal. But here comes Kakao through that portal and goes in for the winning plunge.
The accusers prevail.
GG.
It was as though the scribes themselves stood by their side.
And just in the nick of time, Core shows up.
Thus end this month's proceedings.
I heckin' love Anor worms, he says.
Until the next rite.
Alright, well, let's reset our song and arena here, but otherwise, let us know, chat, if there's anything you'd like to see for these two. No, Anor! So close, yet so far. One day, Core. One day we'll convince her. But apparently, it is not this day. That is true. That is definitely true. Having to not only use a character that you're not that used to, but also combining that with using the controller setup that you are not used to using. Those two things add up quickly. But anything we'd like for this next one, or should we just have these two hop in for our next rite with no specific requests and just take whatever they want to take? Think they're still better on controller than keyboard mouse? I mean, that is one thing, I suppose. Although you may arguably be more precise with the clicking on keyboard mouse, the nice thing about controller is it has the more 360 sensitivity. You know, like, I guess I don't know always with people's movements. I don't remember, especially with all the variations we've seen for our keyboard mouse players, but you know, people are moving up, down, left, right, forward, back, whatever you want to call it, with the arrow keys or WASD, then, you know, there's only so many different directions you can move in. There's not the precise angles you can get with, or the more unusual angles you can get by moving around with a controller. But, you know, if you're using left or right click to move, then of course you can still do that. You're going keyboard and mouse. So maybe that's a way that Worms on controller can be a little bit better than Worms on keyboard and mouse, but kind of depends what your control setup is. Alright, well, not seeing any requests here, so why don't we just get the next one started then?
The Night Wings.
And, well, we'll go from one of Anora's favorite setups to another one of Anora's favorite setups.
Who shall conduct the rites?
Is Cacao in the I Hate the Book camp as well? I know Anora is. I know we have several people who also are not big fans of this arena, but is Cacao one of those people? Yeah? Alright, well, I mean, you're both handicapped in the same way, right? Just like how you're both playing on controller right now.
Rookie.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. I am inevitable. I mean, taking the Titan Tooth, you just double down, triple down on the Thanos stuff. Go for it. Totally. Alright, so it is a Kerr and now a Speedy Pamitha for Anor. Cal led off with Manly. And now he breaks out a worm of the exploding variety. Nutrition Stick Volfred for Anor in that last spot. Hey, Wisty, how's it going? Then Prayer Beads on Udmilda there. And here we are. Our second showdown between these two of the night. Saps on both sides, and a small arena could make things rather cramped. That worm explodes, so look out. Udmilda nearly makes it in there, but not quite. Oh, but one of the few times we've ever seen our push a teammate into an opposing player and benefit from doing so. But hey, there's a first time for everything. Usually it just leads to the Harp sacrificing the teammate, not that teammate actually banishing someone. Udmilda, close, but retreats and gets cornered and banished. Ooh, perhaps a runway here, yes. For Ruki to take flight. Now, first to lock down the orb here. Oh, it's very well executed there with the worm explosion, but does trigger Anor's numbing gust, slowing Cacao down nearly enough to stop him from scoring there, but gets Udmilda in there just in time with a 30 damage Prayer Beads plunge. Cacao going very aggressively here. Anor on the counter. Ooh, trying to rush down that Manly there, but he makes his attack, does eventually get thwarted. Big explosion. Ruki was about to make his move into the Pyre, but then forgot that he did not have the orb. Now he does, though. Full fret. Ruki the other way. And that had just enough room for him to make his way through. And it drops Cacao down to 20 now. Of course, both players have saps here. So we may very well see some rekindling. Anor makes the move with Volfred on the plunge there with the help of Nutrition Stick. Triggers the rekindling. So now it is the second life bar for Cacao, and it's 10. Anor, of course, still on her first, although here is an opportunity for a 30 damage plunge for Cacao. Manly for Cacao. Opts to throw. Oh, and still intercepted there. Cacao, extra damage if he scores quickly with this worm. Over to Volfred it goes, and on the Pyre's doorstep, plunges in for the win. GG. All right, let's head on back.
Until the next rite.
Or I assume you mean specifically on controller. You are talking about what is probably your... Okay, yeah. You make that sound as if you are not usually a SAPS player, when you very much do seem to be that. But that's, of course, usually on keyboard and mouse, but okay. So let us know, chat, if there is anything else you'd like to see between these two. I mean, we're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy, right? Alright, no worries, Wisty. We might get you in the not-so-distant future in that case. I was saying earlier, I am not, unfortunately, I'm not feeling 100% today. I might have a sinus infection, in which case I really shouldn't be talking very much today. But, point being, that I think because the stream is likely going to be shorter today than it would normally be, that we'll probably look to cycle through players a little more quickly. So that we don't, just have this Anor versus Cacao showdown and then nothing else. And it looks like we can potentially go Core and Wisty next after this. Maybe two more between Cacao and Anor? Okay. Seems as though both agree In that case, 2 more between these two. Do we want to... see anything like turn customize off, perhaps? Of course, it means randomize exiles, masteries, and talismans. Won't even get to see what they are in advance. We'll just get thrown straight into the action and let the guessing game begin. So we could still do an arena, we could still do a song, but outside of that, everything else is accounted for here. Reset ×2, okay. So we'll get either Nightwing's theme or Accuser's theme, and then it'll swap around for the next one. So let's get started. Alright, so the Glade. For Nor, it is what? A Nomad, an Imp, and a Demon. For Cacao, it is also Nomad, a Harp, and a Cur. And that's Orlek for Nor, that's not just any demon. Now, for what it's worth, Nor potentially has some of the only characters who could work well with Orlek. Yes, you just saw a Cursed Talisman for Cacao. Cacao does have what I think is oftentimes one of his, if not his single favorite character in Lendl. But Anor has both an Imp and a Nomad. Yeah, there's the Blackheart on Lendl. It just had to happen. But Imps, of course, with Webbed Lanthorn could be a great way to get Orlek back, but we just saw that Anor's Imp has Luminous Idol. Not a bad talisman, just not something that works as well with Orlek. And then, don't think we've seen Sacred Bond for either of the Nomads, which would be the way that they would synergize with Orlek there. So although in theory it was possible for Nor to get those synergies, just didn't seem to happen for her. And, well, speaking of Orlek, there he is, plunging for 25 there. Lendl goes down. Ametha can't quite make it in there. Snadra. Lendl now in his super-powered infinite stamina form, but it's not enough to stop Snadra here. Lendl down once again here. Luminous Idol Tizo goes down, but does set up a portal for Orlek here, who does get banished, and as we were saying, without any ways to get him back, that is going to be a painful blow for Anor. Oh, and look at that, 20 damage and 10 leech. 50% leech is the talisman on Pamitha for Cacao, and that could be a factor, because Anor has gotten off to a quick lead here, but if Cacao can make a point of scoring with Pamitha, and that would certainly help. So with that knowledge, does he make a point of pushing more aggressively with Pamitha like this? Now it means no Pamitha for this round, but 20 damage and 10 more leech. Oh, and look at that snipe from Delbert there. And perhaps an opening for him as well. He's blocked, though. Of course, Cacao is without Pamitha, and so does make matters more difficult defensively, especially as Cur's typically not known for being one of the better defensive classes, so a little bit tough to stop Snadra here. But now it is Anor who's down one character after plunging with Snadra. Portal, which Anor considers using, but Cacao now has it blocked. Anor waits for the reinforcements, does go through with Orlek. He is hanging out close to the Pyre, but he is banished. So now Anor has the long and painful wait, trying to get Orlek back. And that means it was very likely we'd see this situation right here, where Anor has no one back to defend, and Cacao... Oh, not only does he get the extra 5 damage from plunging, he actually had an extra damaging talisman on top of that, so not just 20, 28 damage. Couple of pleasant little surprises there for Cacao. Some decent talismans, although, Lendl, no! Comes back as a Howler. It was about to be the perfect time to stop this attack, but alas, then it wasn't. Lendl. Tizo and Orlek. Here comes Tizo. He's blocked. Oh, but he's banished right next to the Pyre. That's extremely dangerous for Cacao. Needs to be careful. If Anor gets it back, it is almost an automatic score. And that score would likely be definitive. And Cacao gets shoulder smash. Oh, but the last second save from Pamotha getting rid of Orlek. But Honor still has that portal. She's thinking about it. Cacao's thinking about it. They're both thinking about it. Honor goes through, but she's blocked. Gets rid of the defender, has it back. Oh, and the portal gets moved. It's still dangerous, but not nearly as threatening as it was before. And now Honor's defenseless. So Cacao plunges, and it's 28 damage. Means no Dalbert for this round. And Cacao on 8 Pyre life. This would likely be it. And there it is.
The night wings prevail.
GG.
Perhaps they do deserve their freedom after all. The rite is ended.
Alright, well played, you two. Let's head on back.
Till the stars align.
And I think they had said that this might be their last one going against each other. Yeah, Kerfang and the Leech almost saved it for sure there. In dramatic fashion, no less. Some late surprises for Cacao. But Snadra ultimately was savage. Alright, let's turn Customize back on before we forget, unless, of course, that's something we want to see in the next one. As I was saying, I believe we were thinking this would be the last one between Honor and Cacao, so if there is anything else we'd like to see between them, this would be the last chance to make that happen. The boat. Maybe some more Snadra swagger here. Something about abusers? Excuse me? Accusers with a C, thank you very much. Yeah, you did. I didn't see anyone else say that, so I'm not sure what you're referring to. We do have our song set for this one, and Honor had requested another preset mastery. Or rather, another preset theme, I should say. We have song, we have arena. Will that be all it is currently looking as though it may be? So let's get started.
The Night Wings versus the Accusers. Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites?
Oh, and you'd love to see this. Honor goes for this speedy Jody. Of course, demons, well known for their potential exploits on the boat, and it seems to be that the extra speed can certainly help them fly the extra mile. The cow is tempted to follow suit, but does he? No, actually goes with an offensive imp here. Bit of a rare selection. Honor goes with the more standard defensive webbed Lanthorn Imp instead. Webbed Lanthorn on a demon now for Cacao Vispalep, so there will at least be one demon aside. Oh, and Honor goes for the 50% leech on a Brazen Manor Ignarius for the potential, what, nets? 60 point plunge, 40 damage, and 20 leech, yeah. Highest possible net point total from one score. So she's going big or going home, and it is an exploding Barker in the last spot for Cacao. For our last showdown between these two, Cacao defends effectively here. Honor not letting him get out away from his Pyre all that easily. Does eventually. And at this point, Cacao is just taunting Honor. But eventually does lose Barker after that odd standoff there. And we're trying to set up a big Demon Brazen Manor play, but could not do so in time. Nor retreats with Jody, but gets banished. And oh, for a second there was defenseless, but got Ignarius back just in time. Now just Tizo. Jody, through the portal, gets infinite stamina, and so she can rush forward here, setting up the 30 damage plunge. Wanted that standoff to go for another minute. It's quite odd, wasn't it? Good old-fashioned AFK gaming. Certainly felt like that for a moment. But no, they were just playing mind games, I suppose. Oh! Down goes Honor's Demon. Actually, both players now completely defenseless. Looks like it's gonna be pretty close, but Honor gets the orb first with Tizo. Imp versus Imp. It's Cacao who gets it back first, though. And sneaks under the defender there. And remember, that is an offensive Imp. That's 33 damage on that plunge. You don't see that every day. Not from an Imp, at least. Speaking of Imps, that is a quick attack there from Tizo for Honor, but opted to pass it back. Might have had enough time and space to make it in there, but instead goes with the Demon Plunge for 30. Of course, Honor's Imp is more defensively set up, does not have that big 33 damage plunge. Now it's Honor who's defenseless, though. Cacao with a gluttony of options here. Hesitated for a second, but actually, that Imp might be his highest damage character. And so makes a point of plunging with him. It is, of course, more than the base damage from a demon. Yeah, I mean, that's 30 there. So technically, the Imp is the hardest hitter. Here is Messenger Imp. And Barker. Barker explodes, creating a little more space for Messenger Imp, but in the meantime, all of Honor's defenders have come back. Honor sets up the Brazen Manor. Oh, she's going for it. Through the portal she goes. But lost the orb. Ignarius. Brazen Manors again to reset. Through the portal. Looking for that extra damage and gets it. 40 damage, 20 leech. Net 60. Highest possible amount you can get from one score. Of course, does mean no Ignarius for this round, so it's Jody up against Barker here. Oh, and escapes that situation by going through the portal. Cacao with Messenger Imp. Honor gets rid of him, but that sets up the portal here for Barker to use, but he's stopped. Gets it back, though, and suddenly he has an opening.
Throws himself into the flames.
Lunging for 20 here.
Good.
And he had prayer beads, so he's coming back. Jody. Now Ignarius. And we're choosing which character to attack with. It won't be Jody, not anymore. Fairly dangerous portal, but Cacao moves over to cover it up here. Anor. Thinking about it. For the portal. But maybe that was just a diversion for Ignarius, who sets up the Brazen Manor. Now the coast is much clearer. Oh, but he's still stopped. Clever idea from Anor there, but Cacao was not tricked. Barker waiting for those reinforcements. But he's blocked. Big explosion, though. Well, actually, no. Was that an exploding Barker and Cacao went all the way down for the built-in prayer beads with the masteries? That might be the case. Either way, here's Anor with Tizo. He's banished. Now it's Ignarius. And technically, a Brazen Manor Ignarius does have enough damage to finish things. With one score, no Brazen Manor that time, but 30 damage, drops Cacao down to 5, and of course gives another 15 Pyre life back to Anor. It's now Anor, no need to be picky here, anything will do. And nearly makes it happen with Jody. And now here's Cacao. Plenty of potential attackers here. Who will it be, though? Not Barker, or at least not this time. Oh, and suddenly Anor with an opportunity here. Orb inadvertently hits Cacao's Pyre and bounces back out, and that might have saved him right there. Oh, except Portal will run on top of Cacao's Pyre. That is extremely dangerous, especially when one score is all that Anor needs. Oh, but opening here for Cacao. Does he get greedy, though? Thought about maybe trying to see if he could get the Imp in there, I suspect. Realized the Imp was currently banished and opted instead for just the guaranteed 30 damage, and now that does still mean that Cacao can finish this with one score as well. Not quite the same flexibility. It cannot be Barker. There need to be either Messenger Imp or Vids Paleth. But it is still possible. Whoa, and Anor's Tizo goes flying. And sets up a dangerous portal, but oh, Cacao looking to do the same thing. Go through that portal to set up a quick score, but not quite close enough to be immediately threatening. Trying to explode and take out the defenders with Barker to clear out the space for someone else to go for the winning plunge. But with the portal further away now, that is less feasible than it was before. Anor's portal also not nearly as close as it once was to Cacao's Pyre. Cacao has it back, but quickly loses his demon. And that leaves just Barker back defensively. That is not a situation Cacao wants to find himself in. Anor pushing. But blocked. Now banished. Portal. Which now moves slightly closer. Cacao. Remember, still does not have sufficient damage with Barker. Everyone else does, though. On both teams. Oh, making a move here. But Vids Paleth gets banished. Barker by himself. Blocked. And dispossessed. So now Tizo on the attack here. He's stopped, but sets up a dangerous portal for Anor, which Anor immediately goes through. But gets banished. Barker again. Oh, and Anor still has that dangerous portal and gets rid of all the defenders. But Barker returns. Anor choosing how to make her attack, how to make her move, and sneaks in with Tizo for the winning plunge.
I thought for certain they would not.
GG.
The rite is complete.
Well played.
Until the next rite.
What's up, Artemis Pal? How are you? Thrash pack. Of course, of course. And both players pick Barker. Fair enough. Fair enough. We are looking to swap players out here. Thank you, Honor. Thank you, Cacao, for stopping by. And I think we were talking about perhaps getting, was it Core and Wisty for our next pair? Does that still work for you two? Works for Core. Works for Wisty? Alright, let me send out the invites then. Sounds good to me. Invite number 1. And... where are ya? Steam. Oh, there we go. Invite number 2. Okay. So we will get those two in here. Just reset ourselves for the time being. So, random stage, but we will have Crash Pack, both players choosing Barker, and Barker with prayer beads as well, is the request that we're getting right off the bat here for these two. Let's just see if one of you could confirm as to whether you are player 1 or player 2, then I'll start typing in your information.
Oh, I'm player 1.
Okay, Wissy's player 1. And which teams would you two like to be?
I'll be the Beyonders per usual.
Okay. Beyonders for Wisty.
I'll be Pyre.
Pirates for you, Core. Alright. Let's see then. Off Nightwings. Users. Beyonders for you. And Pyre Hearts for you. There we are. Alright, we already have several requests here, so I suppose why not just get straight into the action then?
So Barker with prayer beads is the only...
Barker with prayer beads and a song, Crash Pack.
The Beyonders shall
Ooh,
now
okay,
face
the pits.
the
It's a little more
Pyres.
interesting. Break out the thrash packs indeed.
Who shall conduct the rites?
Alright, and it is a distance throwing stowaway for Wisty in the first spot. Whereas Core goes straight into his prayer beads Barker. Now, Wisty goes Barker. Goes with the lucky break rather than the lightning run there. It's a little less mobility, but more reliable respawn. Then power casting Snadra for Core. Legendary Udmilda, casting through those barriers. Fitting for this arena, of course. That headwind looks like he was just completely camouflaged in the arena. Speaking of which. Then Core finishes with Webbed Lanthorn Messenger Imp. And here we go for our first showdown between Wisty and Core today. A Barker-themed match, and Barker's the one getting things started here, plunging for 20 for Core. Big power cast from Snadra. It's rid of one, now two of the defenders. Then she goes down, though. Stowaway banished. Here's Barker for Wisty. Gets the stamina back. Oh, Core's just waiting for Wisty to make the move. And moving in with Messenger Imp, but he's blocked. Barker versus Barker. Then the Stowaway comes in and throws it in for 14 here. Stowaway teleports and blocks Barker, then banishes Barker. Oh, just gets caught by the edge of that Snadra cast. And that's actually a team wipe there, as Snadra takes everyone out, except there's that quick respawn time from Barker paying off. Stowaway blocked Snadra, but then gets banished by Snadra. Barker returns, trying to stop Snadra, but Snadra runs around and finds a way through here for 10. That stubborn flame we saw, one of the masteries on Udmilda, means that if Core's in the lead, he is dealing 10 less damage anytime he scores, which is activating here as well. That could potentially significantly limit the amount of damage Core has. Whoa, but another huge cast there from Snadra, and Core with the 720 Barker throw for a whopping 5 damage. Look out. Snadra hops over one defender, but then the defender turns around and banishes her. Barker just barely beats Barker into the Pyre there for 20, or rather for 10 on that plunge. Two casting specialists take each other out, but there's no one left on Wisty's side. Which means Barker can plunge for Core for 10. Stowaway trying to avoid Snadra. Goes to the throwing route, but it's intercepted. Barker blocked. But now Snadra finds her way through for 10 here. Did Core take the leech on Snadra? I believe he may have, going all the way down to the left side. And Barker hops over that cast and in for 10. More big casts. Core banishes everyone and just barely avoids getting banished, but still has that stubborn flame. What would have otherwise been enough damage to finish Wisty off here. Not quite enough, after his damage gets reduced by 10. Barker down. Stowaway trying to hop over the Imp. And no Snadra in this round, after she plunged. But Core is quick enough to get that winning plunge here.
Good game.
And what a crushing victory it was.
GG.
Thus end this night's proceedings.
Alright, let's head on back. And let us know, chat,
The stars align.
if there's anything we'd like to see for the next one. If Pyre had a crossover, what kind of game would it be? What kind of crossover are we talking about? Crossover with, like, other Supergiant games? I may or may not have given this some thought at one point in time. RTS? I mean, it really depends what it's a crossover with, right? I mean, Pyre is pretty much already a sports game. Like, just add all the Pyre characters to NBA Jam. And it's basically the same game. Then you can really slam dunk with Jody or whoever you'd like. No, but there was actually... The one that I thought of is, when did this come out? Like 10 years ago at this point. But, a little less than that. Maybe like 8 years ago or so. There's a game that came out on PS3 called... What was it? Like, PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale was basically Sony's attempt at making a Super Smash Bros. Like game. And so it was a crossover of a bunch of different PS3 franchises, and things like Kratos from God of War, Raiden from Metal Gear Solid, Dante from Devil May Cry, who else? Cy Cooper, Jak and Daxter, Drake from the name that is currently escaping me, treasure hunting game. Mass Effect, all of your characters are Pyre characters, maybe. But my point is that a game like that where you could just like, oh, okay, well, sure, we'll have a few characters from Pyre, a few characters from Hades, a few characters from Transistor, and so on and so forth. Just lends itself fairly well to crossovers and having a bunch of characters in. Post-Liberation writes, Ace Attorney-style legal revolution. Maybe. Maybe. Alright, but is there anything we'd like to see for this next match here? Which fancy... Yeah, and that's an interesting point. Like, are they Pyre characters in another game? Or are they characters from another game coming into the Pyre world? Which way is it going? I mean, there's D&D, yeah. But that's like, been there, done that. Alright, you lost me at Family Guy. Hey, Lois, what are we doing down here? I've never seen an episode of Family Guy. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Me neither.
Oh, before we forget, because I did forget, let's reset our song. Cyberpunk Pyre. That could be. I mean, that's basically like Transistor and Pyre crossover. I mean, why not just have Supergiant games crossing over into other Supergiant games, right? Like, what if Joe Dario is trying to escape the House of Hades? What if the downside is just all part of the underworld? Just an area that we didn't traverse. I'm just saying, it's possible. It's possible. But anyways, we're getting sidetracked here. Is there anything we'd like to see for this one before our players disconnect?
I think we took too long with the booted out.
Who did Steam kick? Wisty.
It kicked me.
It didn't like your Family Guy suggestion.
Yeah.
It disapproved.
It's karmic punishment.
Exactly. Alright, I say we just get this next one started then. While everyone else's imaginations are running wild.
The Beyonders versus the Firehearts. Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites?
So no requests here, you're welcome to take whatever you'd like. You know, if you want to try to somehow thematically create some kind of Supergiant / Pyre crossover, then you're welcome to do so.
It's a deluge.
It's an exploding deluge first for Wisty. Then Speedy Bertrude for core. Rare Beads Bertrude. Jodario in the second spot here for core. Last one for Wisty is a speedy Titan Tooth Pamitha. And core goes for a Web Lanthorn Super Portal Messenger in. Jody, banished by Pamitha. Pamitha, banished by Messenger Imp. Core through that Super Portal, getting infinite stamina on Bertrude. Sidesteps the opposing Chrome, but that throw will be short. So has to loop around a little bit. And on the second attempt, that throw does land for 28. Jody just barely avoids Pamitha this time round, but not for long. Bertrude for Wisty, blocked. Wisty now moving in with Pamitha, though. She's banished, or she can make it in. Four. Thinking about the portal. So is Wisty, though. Four through the portal. Has that infinite stamina with a demon. Very dangerous combo. And then follows up with a rebound for this 30 damage plunge. Pamitha just barely banishes in time to avoid getting banished. And plunges for 20 here for Wisty. Interesting maneuver there from Core's Bertrude.
Hold on, sorry. Something's happening outside.
Oh, okay. No worries. Now, if Zagreus were a character in Pyre, what class would he be? Or would he be his own new class and have his unique abilities? Baylor says Kerr.
I'm terribly sorry about that. I'm back.
Oh, no worries. I did not see Kerr coming. New class God. Alright, well, I believe... Oh, we'll let you ponder that in chat. But now we have everyone back, so I'll give you guys a countdown and then I'll hit resume. So I'll go 3, 2, 1, go, and on go I'll hit resume. 3, 2, 1, go. Four. Waiting. Then pounces. Bertrude blocked. And tries to follow up with the throw, and does get it off in time, and get over the defender, of course, the unblockable crone throw. It does mean that Core may have enough damage here to finish this with one more score. Wisty. Oh, Court speeds in there with his crone. And the throw is wide. Ametha banished. Jody banished, though. And Wisty hops in here for 30. And Prayer Beads on Bertrude means Bertrude is back here. Ametha, oh, banished at the last second there. Here comes Core. Jody, she stopped. Just Bertrude at the moment for Wisty, and Core has set up a portal right on top of Wisty's Pyre, but Wisty has gotten the Valiant Return on Deluge. Core is trying to go through that portal. He's waiting for it, but so is Wisty. And there it is. GG.
Good game.
GG.
They overwhelmed their adversaries utterly. The ceremony is complete.
All right, let's head on back.
Until the stars align.
And let us know, chat, if there's anything you'd like to see for the next one. Now, here's a thought. 3-player Hades, including characters from Pyre. So you can be the original trio. You can be Edwin, Jody, and Ruki and try to escape the underworld together. Snadra narrating, of course. No, Snadra has taken Hades' spot. And Ron has taken Hypno's spot. Ron takes Zacharias' spot. But then it'd be easy, right? Because Ron can basically teleport all over the place with his superpowered dad transporting him from one location to the next. It'd be too easy. I mean, how else did Ron get to the Fall of Solium, right? Edwin is Hermes? They definitely look alike, but thematically, are they similar enough? I could see Hedwin being more of like Achilles. Edwin is Meg? Didn't see that one coming. No, I think the harps and the harpies are probably the most natural replacements for one another. I don't know, Honor. I'm not sure. Alright, but as for our next rite here, is there anything else we'd like to see? Or shall we just have both players take whatever they'd like to take? Pyre is a Pokemon Go-esque augmented reality game where trees come to life and annoy... What on earth did I just read? On that note, let's get started.
The Beyonders shall now face the Pyre Hearts. Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites? It's a deluge.
Alright, it is an exploding deluge in the first spot there for Wisty. Now, might we be in for, of course, the classic in this location?
The classic what, Lids?
A canned singularity, perhaps.
No, we don't know what that is.
I'm
Not
not
classic.
sure. Not sure what that could be, but perhaps.
Classic. No one knows what that is.
The fabled, the rumored canned singularity.
Messenger Imp.
Could it be, perhaps, a little canned singularity? The Eye of the Great Nothingness. Now that's a dark... I assume that's meant to be an alternative title for it. If so, that is a very dark name for it. I suppose it is rather dark, but still.
Tamatha.
A box of nothing? Event Horizon Simulator?
Sandra.
Anyways, in case you weren't following, we have a Bottled Void setup. Core is rocking it with the Stowaway, which means he will try to banish the Stowaway and bring her back from banishment as often as he can to trigger that Bottled Void, sucking in neighboring exiles like a vacuum cleaner, and potentially banishing them in the process. But Snadra gets things started here with 20 damage plunge. Might be the single strongest Bottled Void I've seen at the beginning of round ever, where every single hockey puck gravitated toward Core. Usually the ones close to him do, yes, but not all of them. That time, it was seemingly all of them.
No, that is spawned it on their side. It spawned the void on their side.
That was weird. Give that a closer look then. Oh, quick explosion there from the worm. At least slowed this score here, but eventually the Stowaway a little bit off target, but we'll give her the 20 damage nonetheless. Oh, and looked like the worm was going straight in there, but just exploded, took out the defenders, but now it's Wisty on the counterattack. Well, now that counterattack is being counterattacked. And Snadra plunges for 20. And no prayer beads on her, so she's gone for this round, that means. 4 sidesteps 1 cast. But gets banished by the second attempt. But then speeds in for the winning plunge with the worm.
Good games. I gotta go.
GG.
They outperformed their adversaries.
Hope everyone has a nice rest of the night.
Thus
Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Wisty.
ends night's proceedings.
Alright, let's head on back.
Until the next rite.
And it looks like we'll need someone to hop in here to take Wisty's spot. Is there anyone from chat who would like to do so? the meantime, Cacao has already set us up for our next request here for Exiles. Bit of a pick and ban. Player 1 blocks one class for player 2 after taking the first and second character, and after taking the second character, player 2 blocks the second class for player 1.
Okay, let me see if I understand this correctly. So, player 1 and player 2 each take an exile. No.
No, player 1 immediately
bans one
blocks.
class for
Yeah.
player 2. Oh, wait. Oh, after taking first and second character. No, they take the first and second character each. Yeah, you're gonna have to clarify. I have no idea.
Order of operations there doesn't quite seem to add up. First this, then this, then this, then this, then this.
Yeah,
It feels like you're hopping around a little bit.
Do it in order.
Player 1 takes 2 exiles and bans a class. Then player 2 picks their second character in the class. Well, like, player 1 take character and block. Player 2 second character and ban. By take second character, you mean the first character on player 2's team? Or is player 2 taking their first character and their second character, and only then are they blocking a character? In which case, they're blocking the last one that player 1 is selecting. Player 2 blocks second class. Okay. Player 1 picks and bans one. Player 2 picks and bans one, and then they select the rest of the way through, is my interpretation. Because obviously, player 1's selection and ban comes before player 2's selection and ban. I think that's the correct order of operations. But either way, we do need someone to jump in here to go up against Core. No player 2 block after second choice. So player 2 is blocking the last selection for player 1. Yeah, okay. Player 1 picks bans. Then they keep on picking until player 2, just before player 1 picks their last character, bans a certain thing for that last character on player 1's side.
So player 1 bans basically at the start.
Yeah.
Right.
And player
And
2
then-
is banning the last one for player 1.
And that's it. There's just 2 bans.
Yeah.
Just get 1. But it's drafted normally, basically. After that.
Outside of that, I think it's normal. Should we read into that song selection at all?
Wait, so player 1 gets 2 bans? Or just 1? And after second choice of 2 bans? Okay. But player 2 only gets 1 ban.
Player 1 bans after their first and second selection. Player 2 only bans after their second selection.
Okay.
Is now my interpretation. Meaning, yeah, player 1 gets 2 bans and player 2 only gets 1. But I suppose player 2 has a
So let me
little...
try to do it in order.
Okay. Well, we need one other person here to go up against Core. Is there anyone from chat who would like to do so? Core is playing on controller, so it can be someone on keyboard, mouse, or someone on controller. Doesn't matter which. Either way would work.
Okay, this is my understanding of it.
Yeah, that's currently my understanding of it as well.
I mean, I think 2 bans is pretty powerful.
That's a lot. Any takers on someone who'd like to go up against Core here? I suppose at this point. Not that it's that late into the night, but I guess if there's someone who has not yet played against Core, we could have them go against Core here. Even if you played earlier today.
Okay, so P2 gets 2 bans after that second choice.
P2 bans
2, I think. Player 2 bans 2 after the second choice.
There's only one character
Okay, I
that
see.
player 1 is taking at that point.
What do you mean?
Never mind.
Also, here's a question. People can take multiple exiles of the same class. So, if you pick, let's say I pick a worm, and then later down the line someone bans a worm, so I keep my worm, obviously. That just means I can't take another worm. Okay.
Alright, I have a proposition.
Yes.
Seeing as how we do not yet have an established person to go against Core here, I think we make that person Cacao. Because Cacao knows what he's trying to request here, and might be the only person who understands exactly how this is working. So I feel like, in the interest of not having someone come in here and have no idea what is happening, it might need to be Cacao. Yeah, and since Core is on controller, you can go keyboard mouse.
I'm trying to think of which one I'd rather be.
Well, speak now or forever hold your bans, because I am about to invite Cacao.
Not exactly, I wrote her. I mean, it's just there's more characters and more picks. Because you pick 5, there's like 7 or 8 bands, and there's like different phases as well. So it's not exactly, but I think it's actually probably pick dependent. Actually, I think I would prefer some picks on player 2 versus player 1. So, like, for instance, for me, if I was player 1, I would take something specific that I wouldn't necessarily do as player 2. Even if, like, kind of drafts were similar, picks were similar.
Alright, I say, why don't we get onto the squad selection screen, and we'll have you two figure things out. Oh, in case of trouble. Right, hold on. True. That is a Tariq bot one.
losers shall confront.
And player 2 actually bans second position for player 1,
Welcome.
which is actually pretty powerful.
Who shall conduct the rites?
Okay, so Cacao is obviously selecting this character. Oh, Cacao, do you have controls? Hold on. You do not. Now you do. Speaking of controls, yeah, let's make sure these make sense. Oh, Tariqbot's having another one of those days, huh? Yeah, he's tripped up already a couple of times here. It's a quick throwing Vorfritz.
Who'd you ban?
He blocks worms.
Wow. Totally not expected.
What a weird choice. Even Tariqbot is taken aback. So now this worm ban, is this just for Core's next character, this one right here? Like, can Core take a worm on the... Or is it for the rest of your selections? Yeah.
The rest, yeah.
Alright, so Core leads with a harp in that case. So does Core ban something here, or does Cow still get to pick?
And he bans again.
Imps banned. Okay. Imps have been banned for Core. The cow is playing as EQ, so I suppose that does make sense. Your controller not responding here, Core?
Can you try to put me on 2?
Okay.
I just didn't want to pause every time. Just try to put me on 2.
Alright, there you are. Not any better.
Someone.
Or what I could do is I can give you
Just
keyboard
reinvite
mouse
me.
controls or reinvite you.
Just reinvite me.
Okay. There we go.
I'm both player 1 and 2. I don't know if that's gonna matter in this match, but
Alright, Core goes Leech on Bertrude.
and now I ban 2. What do you think?
Oh, I see. You banned 2 different classes for his one selection. That was why I was confused. I was like, how are you banning 2 when he only has 1 exile left?
I'm gonna ban Worm.
Yeah, I have a strong sense he's going to be controlling both teams as well.
I'll ban Sap. Not Sap. I'll ban, so I'll ban Worm and, Demon.
Did you confirm that second ban, Core?
Yeah. Nomad, or not, Demon and Worm. Yeah.
Demon and Worm?
Rookie.
Alright, so now this is Core's only... Well, technically, he still has the Worms banned. And... I forget as to what the second ban was. Imps. So those restrictions are still in play here. But no new ones to add on top of that. Alright, so it's Tooth Ignarius. And here we go with our pick and ban setup.
You love to see it.
Are you controlling or... Yes, you are controlling both. Okay. Hold on. As anticipated.
Let me reconnect. Or just... give me a sec. Okay. Hopefully this counts as my controller for this. Let me just check. Okay.
Looks good. There is one exile that we can't see on Cacao's side, but I'm pretty sure Core's in the clear here. Yeah, okay. So, shall I give you guys a countdown?
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
When I go on this screen, just so there's no false starts. Alright, so I'll go 3, 2, 1, go, and on go we'll hit resume. 3, 2, 1, go. Core is blocked and switches in though. But Ignarius gets banished. Forfeit. For Cacao, has an unblockable throw, but can't get it off in time. Ametha. Luminous Idol gives her full stamina when she picks up the orb, but she's still banished here. Cacao back to Rookie now. Through the portal with Forfeit. But that's not enough to sneak past Ignarius, and Ignarius has no one to stop him right now. But Core tries to go with the throw with Bertrand and did not have time for that. Cow, thinking about the portal, uses it, gets the infinite stamina upon doing so, narrowly avoids the fell swoop. Does still get banished by Pamitha, who switches in, but Ignarius got blocked, so lost the orb before he made his move toward the Pyre, but does make it in on the second attempt here for 30. Pamitha. No Ignarius in this round after he plunged. But Pamitha finds her way through for 20. Forfeit. Loses out to Bertrude. As does Rookie. Bertrude narrowly avoids banishment, but does go down the second time around. Tizo is out for blood here. And eventually finds his target. That means a little bit of time here for Cacao, and so goes in for 20 damage plunge with his Cur. No prayer beads on Rookie, so he's gone for this round. Ametha sidesteps one block, but does run into the second defender. Cacao through the portal for infinite stamina. That's not enough to avoid Pamitha, though. Who switches in for 30 damage on the Ignarius plunge, so 10 extra damage relative to what Pamitha would have had. Pamitha down here, though. Ignarius gone for good in this round. That leaves just Bertrude back defensively at the moment. Ametha against Forfeit. Cow trying to fake core out here. Ametha has it back. Oh, but now core defenseless. Time for Cacao to figure out how best to score and opts to go the throwing route with his crone for 30. Now both teams at full strength though. And that was a quick setup for the crone plunge to take the win.
Good game.
Their adversaries must be crying tears of shame.
GG.
The ceremony is complete.
All right, let's head on back.
That's interesting. I'd love to do it again.
Till the next rite.
It does open. I think it does open up some more viability for some of the classes, like harder counters.
Mm-hmm. Well, I suppose we can keep these two in here for a little bit longer. Unless there's anyone else from chat who is not yet gotten in, who would very much like a chance to do so. But is there anything else we'd like to see between these two? That was a pick and ban of sorts. Let's also perhaps... Oh, perfect timing. Perfect timing. Get Tariq out of here. Cal can go for a couple more. Okay.
From the plains that sleep below.
I'd actually like to try player one, maybe. It's fun if we're doing bands.
Give that a shot.
It shouldn't be too bad on like switching. You just switch in Pyre, right?
Yeah, that should work. I mean, I'll switch your names and sigils and what have you, but that's no big deal. Is that of interest?
Yeah. I want to, as long as we're doing bands again. Cacao's up for it.
Okay, that worked for you, Cacao? Works for Cacao? Okay. Song is the player's choice. Which player, though? Yeah. That is the question.
Oh, okay. So I can do the first one maybe, and then Cacao gets the second.
I suppose.
Okay. Let's do Knights of the Sea.
All right. There we are. All right. So, same pick and ban setup here. Is that the idea? Just you two have swapped places, so the dynamic's a little bit different?
Yeah.
All right. In that case, let's go for it.
The Pyre hearts shall take on the
Well, this makes things interesting.
welcome. Who shall conduct the rites? Sandra.
Snadra
Banning.
first.
I'm banning Sap.
Sap is banned for Cacao. Luminous Idol Pamitha. For a second there, it looked like he had other plans. So now, Core, you still take this one without any bans, right? You have a free choice.
Yes. You took Pamatha.
Okay, then he goes Web Lanthorn, Messenger Imp.
Now I ban. I ban Demon, I think. Let me think. Yeah, I think Demon. Ban Demon.
Alright, so Saps and now Demons are banned for Cacao.
Your decision.
So Cacao goes Ninja Ulmer. Now
So it's
Cacao
banned.
double bans. Harp and Crone are the two that Cacao bans. Harp and Crone, Core cannot take on this last exile.
Okay. Harp and Chrome.
Which is interesting because we saw Cacao let off with a worm ban last time when Core was in the player 2 slot, but did not ban worms at all this time. And Cacao still has what, the Demon and Sap ban were the two that you had selected for him, Core?
Yeah, Demon and Sap.
So that means worms are available for Cacao if you'd like to go that route as well. So he goes Typhoon Bottle. It's not a common choice on a worm, but it's Cacao getting things started here with a 20 damage plunge with its harp. And a black magic jump from Ulmer. His throw is intercepted, but then again, they get banished when they do that. So it did help to clear out some more space, and on the third attempt, he gets it in for 20. Ametha, she stopped just before making it in. As was Snadra. Typhoon Bottle actually active here. Slowing down Core. I was skeptical of how often we might see that play into this match, though, given how worms do often, just as we see here, come back when everyone else is banished. But Core still enough time, even with Typhoon Bottle active and being unable to sprint, jump, or throw, to plunge in here for 15 with his Imp. Power cast from Snadra. And actually, that was the last of Cacao's defenders, just ran straight into Snadra. So again, Typhoon Bottle active, but Snadra is unfazed. Amethyst stopped. Gilman stopped as well by Ulmer this time. That leaves just Lady Riverback defensively for Cacao. Now Pampa has returned, as has everyone else. 4 just barely gets the throw off in time. That was about to turn into a plunge. That means he will save his worm for this round. Snadra. Banished. Gilman for Core. Almost outmaneuvers Ulmer, but gets exploded upon.
I'm a lag, big lag. I think Cow has it too.
Oh, okay. Shall we take a second here?
died yet. I think it's froze for me.
Okay, someone just disconnected.
Yeah, it was me.
That was Core? Okay. Big lag. Why don't I might just uninvite and reinvite both of you then.
Yeah.
Twitch is telling me I'm reconnecting. Ooh. Did my internet drop? Alright, I think my internet actually dropped for a second there, but can you guys still hear me in Discord and in chat?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And also, I fixed the cacao.
Alright, so we should be good then, I believe, in which case I'll give you guys a countdown. I'll go 3, 2, 1, go, and on go we'll hit resume. So, stream, don't die. It almost did. It almost did, but we should be good. Alright, ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
I almost pity what transpired there. Vanished, one and all.
Now that means that Cacao is defenseless here. Till Pamitha returns and chases Core off. Does he have enough range on that worm throw? Yes, he does.
Threw it in.
Pamitha down quickly. Actually, Snapdra banishes everyone, but, well, Cacao had gotten Lady River back, but then she goes down and triggers the Numbing Gust, or rather Typhoon Bottle. Snapdra plunges for 20 and does have some leech as well. So that's actually a net 30-point play there, and has gotten Core a fair bit of life back to his Pyre. Core with Messenger Imp. No Snadra in this round. Okay, Messenger Imp is down, but that's a dangerous portal for Core, and he is perhaps retreating back to his Pyre for that very reason, to at least have that option open to him. Through it he goes, but does still get blocked. Now Core is out of position defensively. Oh no, does get both people back here, and I believe, yes, has set up that portal right on top of Cacao's Pyre, so Cacao needs to be extremely careful here, otherwise Core potentially has an automatic score, but Cacao makes a point of banishing Core's Imp right next to his own Pyre, and so now it is not going to do much at all if Core is to go through that portal. But Core sprints in for the winning plunge.
Good game.
No sound?
Most excellently done this time, I must admit.
Is that still true? At least on my end, it looks like it's telling me there's still sound.
It's complete.
Really? Wait, is that really still true? I mean, here's my volume is showing up, and it's not showing in-game volume right now because I'm tapped out of that, but that was also showing me stuff. So at least it would appear on my end that things are working as intended audio-wise, but that's a little bit odd.
I mean, I can hear it both on the stream and in-game, the audio.
That might be on your side then, Anor?
Did you turn up your volume, Anor? Anor gone deaf?
Cal also doesn't hear the stream. Weird.